Okay, so if you look at this fog light, and this is the front right as passenger side being viewed from the rear, there are two attachment points. There's this bracket here in the lower right, and then this one on the top left. And then you'll also, if you flip it over, you'll see there are two bullets. So there's this protruding bullet here, and there's another one here. Those fit into a recessed socket. And then this is the adjusting screw, which actually you can access through the front trim piece. Look at that piece, there's actually a hole right here. So you can get a screwdriver or tool through there to actually adjust the fog light. Most people probably didn't even notice that because they never look at those. So now on the inside, as I mentioned, there's tabs. Here's the tab on the bottom right for the fog light, and here's the one for the top right. These tabs actually should have a metal clip attached, and then there's a bolt that screws into that clip that's going to hold the tab. And then the two bullets are going to fit into these. Here's one that plugs in, and here's the other one. This is the access hole for the adjustment, and as I mentioned earlier, the temperature probe, I'm going to actually connect that with the wire before I put the fog light in. Right now I'm just testing the fog light for fit to make sure everything is lined up. So this is the test fit. Just pull this hose. I was trying to get that hose up out of the way. And basically everything fits or lines up. The tab down here, the bullet plug in here in the socket, the other bullet plugs in over here, the adjuster hole, and the upper tab up here. This plastic is a little bit bent, but that'll deform back once I tighten the screw. And then this hose, I think once the inner fender, this hose is going to be up out of the way here like that. And as I mentioned, I'm going to have to take out this light and then plug in the temperature sensor first and then connect the fog light. I will test all the connections before finally screwing it into place. Alright, so now basically I've got everything set up to accept the fog light. I've got the clip on the lower tab, I've got the clip on the upper tab, and now I've got the wiring harness here for the fog light and also the oops, can't get it into there. Here's the piece for the fog light, the plug, and the temperature sensor. And this one you need to be very careful with the temperature sensor because the unit itself, this costs roughly $20. And if you can see, there's two very small male pins inside there. If you're not careful the way you plug this together, you're going to bend those pins. So you have to be very gentle, and then you should actually plug it together first and then put it into the hole in the trim panel. So once you've got your temperature sensor plugged in, you should actually go inside the car, turn the ignition on without starting the engine, and you should see the display should read properly. So actually, you don't even have to turn on the car. I made a mistake there. Apparently it reads with the car shut off. And if it's disconnected, it's going to read 185 degrees. Well, that just actually went on when I opened the door. Now it went off. So we'll see if we can get that to go back on again. There. It reads 185 degrees if there's no connection or the unit is damaged or is not working. And it should read the correct temperature once it's plugged in and you have the ignition turned on. So it is reading 82 degrees. That sounds about right for today in Massachusetts, so that connection's good. So with the fog lights on the C240, you actually have to pull they do go on at nighttime when you're locking the car or unlocking it as a courtesy light, but during the daytime they don't. So you actually have to switch. Usually I keep this on auto. You switch it to the fog light position, and then when you pull it out towards you to the first click, you'll see this light goes on, and when you pull it to the second click, you'll see that indicator goes on, and that should put on your fog lights and also your daytime running lights and parking lamps. So let's take a look. All right, so you can see now I've got the front marker lamp is on, the fog light that I just replaced. There's the other fog light, which is not quite as bright, and then one daytime running light. The passenger side daytime running light is out, and that's another bulb that I need to replace. Hopefully that's going to be a quick fix. But both fog lights are working, the temperature sensor is working, so all my electrical connections are good, and then I can now finalize. This right fog light, it actually looks like at one time it had some water in there. Probably should be replaced, but don't have the replacement fog light is about $130, and I don't really see any need to replace it right now. So now with everything working, all that you need to do is put in the 2 screws, one here, one up here. Your wiring harness actually fits through this clip next to this hose. And you can see way back here, there's the connection for the temperature unit. I actually put a little electrical tape over that plug because I think the plug got damaged in the accident and is cracked, so I don't want it to fall out. And then the only thing is going to be to put in that plastic panel that fits right here. That's sitting on the floor over there. That'll be the last piece. So we got the fog light in. It's all set. Got the screw down here, the one up there, temperature sensor. So that's all bolted in, and I've riveted the body panel to this inner panel. So basically now this inner fender panel, there's 4 attachment points, 2 up here, this is the 3rd one, this is the 4th one, so there's 4 vertical, and those all attach with these type of screws right here. They're a hex head screw, kind of a coarse thread. There's 2 more underneath on this panel. One is here, and the other one is over here. Those attach with these plastic push pins. So basically these, you just push it in, and then you use a mallet to tap in the head, and that expands it, and that'll hold it into place. So basically you just got to get those 2 underneath lined up, and then the 4 screws up top, and then we should be all finished. So here's the finished project. Got that inner panel all attached. The 4 bolts are in. It's attached from underneath. Put the wheel back on. Fog light, and actually you can see the temperature sensor right there. So and everything works. So actually, if you unlock the car, you will see both daytime running lights come on and both fog lights come on. So right now, I'm going to leave that driver's side fog light alone. I may replace it at some point if it burns out. You could see, I think some water got inside there. In order to change it, you basically have to take the whole inner fender out of the car. So right now it's going to stay as is. Thanks for watching.